MP James Wilde has been meeting the Health Secretary Steve Barclay to discuss the plans. James Wilde is on the line now. Thank you very much, James, for joining us. So, what do you make about the issue that the hospitals may not be big enough? What's your take on that?
Hi, Stephen. Yeah, no, I've spent the afternoon with the Health Secretary and the team who are delivering the new hospitals programme, looking at some of the concepts with virtual reality, looking at how the wards may look in parts of the hospital and the flows for patients and videos and models. I spoke to them about this precise point. The design that the National Audit Office is referring to is still a work in progress. The report even says that the final design hasn't been finalised, as it were. So this is work that's going on. The programme director for the new hospitals programme said that she will now be speaking to QEH and all the other hospitals that are on the list to talk about the local needs and the local demography that we have and the way that we care for people in the community, and to see what the need would be for QEH. So we're at an early stage in terms of the finalised design. So no, I'm confident that we'll have a hospital that's the right size for West Norfolk, that's going to be built by 2030, and it is fully funded. So it was very exciting to see all these designs, and I look forward to them being shared with staff and patients hopefully quite soon, so they can also see the real change and the step change that it will make to care at QEH compared to what they can offer today.
And we heard that the National Audit Office has also warned that the construction industry may not have the capacity to rebuild all those hospitals on the government's list by 2030. Are you concerned about that?
Well, again, it was quite fortuitous. I spoke to Lord Markham, who is the Health Minister who's driving the programme and who's also, interestingly, responsible for a lot of the regeneration around King's Cross, which anyone who gets the train from Lynn will know what a transformation there's been there. So he's very experienced in these kind of projects. He said over the last few weeks he's been meeting with the major construction sector, and part of the point of having this standardised, what's called Hospital 2.0, standard approach to the size of wards, single rooms, ensuite rooms, is that the industry can then plan. It's got a pipeline and it knows that they're not going to have 40 different designs and all the costs that comes for that. So it makes it more straightforward for them, more straightforward to the supply chain. So he was confident, having spoken to them, that they're up for delivering this programme, and we're addressing some of the problems, which means 9 of the last 10 hospitals that have been built have been well over budget and have been late.
Yeah, but what else was Steve Barclay able to tell you about the plans at the moment? For example, we've heard of some innovations already which will change the way we use hospitals in the future, but what about other ways that we may find new and different and assist our use of hospital visits?
Well, it's partly about the flow of which patients and staff come into the hospital. So QEH isn't set up for the way that modern care works. So these hospitals are designed from first principles. So what's the flow that patients are going to go through? What's the minimum period that they have to be taken through different parts of the hospital? How can we use digital technology to observe patients, respect their privacy, and also get people in and out of hospital as rapidly as possible? Because no one wants to be in hospital longer than they need to. And using technology that's sort of in its infancy at the moment, with things like virtual wards where people can be released from hospital sooner than they would otherwise be, whether that's into care in the community or at their home. And then the consultant, using digital technology, can monitor them remotely. They'd rather be in their own home. It frees up another hospital bed. So there's a lot of innovation that we can use to make sure that hospitals are as efficient and effective in delivering care for people as they can be. And I think all of those concepts, that's what they'll be talking to the hospital about, talking to staff across the NHS as to what would make their life easier to deliver care, which is ultimately what they're there to do.
I know all political colours in the county of Norfolk are pressed for the rebuild. You were among those people who campaigned long and hard. Are you happy with the progress of the whole project so far?
Absolutely. I mean, I think what comes through from this report actually is the successful campaign that we led with QEH, with the local community, other MPs and councils, actually has caused problems for some of the other hospitals, and they've been delayed as a result. But that's because the priority has now been recognised, the importance of dealing with the RAC concrete issues at QEH and the other hospitals, including Paget in Norfolk. So, yeah, no, I'm pleased. It's only less than 2 months ago since Steve Barclay made that fantastic announcement. But seeing today, seeing the concept, seeing the designs, getting that headset on and looking around the wards, looking around different parts of the hospital, the staff breakout areas, the individual rooms that people will have. I'm very excited about that, and I think that's a vision that when people see that, they'll be excited too as well, and then we can crack on and get this new hospital delivered.
Isn't it amazing you can have a virtual tour of something that hasn't been built yet? It's fantastic how tech can be so brilliant, isn't it?
It is, and you can go into the rooms and you can inspect the different bits of equipment. Yeah, it's like you're walking in there. So it's brilliant, and I think it just brought it to life and showed that this wasn't just an announcement on a bit of paper. There's a huge amount of work that's been going on over the last few years on this programme, and it's great that QEH is now a priority scheme for the project near the front of the queue.
Thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening, James.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you very much.